Do you feel it, warrior? That invisible leash around your neck, jerked by every notification, every email, every breaking news headline. It's the twitch in your thumb that scrolls for another hour when you promised yourself you'd work. It's the hot surge of anger that floods your chest over a stranger's comment online. You think you are free, but you are a puppet. Your strings are pulled by algorithms designed to steal your focus, by a culture engineered to provoke your outrage, and by the weakest part of your own mind. You are living in a prison with no bars, a slave to impulses you don't control and emotions you can't command. This isn't life. It's a state of constant, chaotic reaction. Look at your day. It's not a plan. It's a battlefield where you are losing. You wake up with ambition, but by noon that fire is a pile of ash. Why? Because the enemy got to you first. That enemy whispered in your ear the moment your alarm went off. It's the voice of your own inner tyrant, the slobbering, weak part of you that craves comfort over conquest. It's the voice that says, just 5 more minutes, which becomes an hour. It's the voice that screams, you deserve a break after 10 minutes of effort. It's the voice that justifies your rage, your laziness, your surrender. It tells you that your feelings are orders that must be obeyed, that your impulses are truths that must be acted upon. And you, the warrior who was born to command, have become its most obedient soldier. This weakness is costing you everything. It's the reason your great ideas die as forgotten notes in your phone. It's why you look in the mirror and see the ghost of the person you swore you'd become. Stronger, more disciplined, more present. That lack of self-control is a poison that seeps into your relationships, making you say things you don't mean in moments of anger. It corrodes your health as you choose the immediate pleasure of junk food over the long-term strength of a disciplined body. You are haunted by your own potential. The gap between the warrior you could be and the slave you are right now is a chasm of shame. And every day that you let your impulses win, that chasm gets wider. You've tried to fight back, haven't you? You downloaded the productivity apps, you watched the motivational videos, you made the New Year's resolutions, you tried to brute force your way to discipline using willpower. But that's like trying to stop a hurricane with a paper shield. It's a losing battle because you've been fighting with the wrong weapons. You've been told self-control is about resisting. That is a lie. True self-control is not about resistance. It's about building something inside of you so strong, so impenetrable, that the storms of the outside world and the mutiny of your own mind can't even touch it. It's about forging an inner citadel. What if I told you there is an ancient operating system for the human mind? A code forged by warriors and emperors 2,000 years ago for this exact war. A system of laws designed not to resist temptation, but to make you indifferent to it. This is Stoicism, not the passive academic philosophy you've heard about, but a brutal, practical arsenal for building a mind of iron. We are not here to talk about theories. We are here to go to war. In this series, I am going to hand you the 9 Stoic Laws that will give you total self-control. We will burn away the weakness and forge you into someone who is truly untouchable. Someone whose actions are guided by purpose, not by impulse. Before we light the forge, you must make a choice. Are you a spectator or are you a warrior? Warriors commit before the battle begins. Prove your discipline now. Subscribe to this channel and hit the like button. This is your first act of defiance against a world that wants you weak and distracted. Then, go to the comments and write your declaration of war. It can be simple. I am the commander of my mind, or my impulses do not own me. This is more than a comment. It is your oath. It is the first hammer blow in the forging of your new self. The battle for your soul begins now. Let's be brutally honest about the disease that is rotting you from the inside out. We will give it a name. It is not laziness, it is not fear, it is not procrastination. Those are merely the symptoms. The disease itself is the worship of comfort. You have been taught your entire life to bow at its altar. You've been told that the goal of life is to feel good, to be safe, to avoid friction. This is the deadliest lie ever engineered. Comfort is not a sanctuary. It is a cage lined with velvet. It is a slow-acting poison that makes you fat, weak, and stupid. Every time you choose the easy path, the social media scroll over the difficult project, the junk food over the disciplined meal, the comfortable silence over the hard conversation, you are taking another dose of this poison. You are trading a moment of fleeting pleasure for a piece of your soul. Look at your body, warrior. It was designed to be a weapon, a vessel of power capable of conquering mountains and enduring hardship. But your worship of comfort has turned it into a prison of soft flesh. That ache in your lower back isn't from age, it's from atrophy. That shortness of breath isn't a medical condition, it's a testament to your surrender. You treat your body like a dumpster for your emotional cravings, filling it with sugar and chemicals because it feels good for a second. You avoid the gym because the burn is uncomfortable. You sit for 8, 10, 12 hours a day because standing is an effort. You have taken the most magnificent machine ever created and allowed it to rust in the rain. Your body is no longer your ally in the fight for your life. It is a lead weight chained to your ankle, a physical manifestation of your broken discipline. This rot doesn't stop at your skin. It has seeped into your mind and poisoned your ambition. Think of the great plans you had. The business you were going to start, the book you were going to write, the skill you were going to master. Where are they now? They are ghosts haunting the graveyard of your browser history, buried under thousands of hours of mindless entertainment and cheap distraction. Why? Because real work is hard, it is frustrating, it is uncomfortable. And your inner tyrant, the spoiled child who runs your mind, cannot tolerate discomfort. The moment resistance appears, it screams for a retreat to the familiar, the easy, the numb. Your potential is suffocating under a mountain of your own excuses, and you are the one piling them on, one comfortable choice at a time. And what about your relationships? The worship of comfort turns you into an emotional infant. Because you cannot tolerate the discomfort of being wrong, you argue to the bitter end, destroying connection to protect your fragile ego. Because you cannot stand the discomfort of a difficult conversation, you let resentment build into a toxic sludge that poisons the love you have for others. You lash out in anger because it provides a momentary release, a fleeting feeling of power, even though it leaves a trail of wreckage in your life. You are a slave to every emotional storm. A cutting word from a stranger can ruin your day. A minor inconvenience can send you into a spiral of rage. You have zero command over your inner world, making you a danger to yourself and a burden to those who try to love you. The high priest of this sick religion is the voice in your head that whispers the most destructive lie of all. You deserve it. You deserve a break. You deserve to treat yourself. You deserve to be happy. This is the mantra of the weak. Warriors do not get what they deserve. They get what they earn through sweat, through sacrifice, through discipline. The universe owes you nothing. Your feelings of entitlement are a trap designed to keep you soft and compliant. The moment you believe you are owed comfort, you have surrendered your power. You have declared yourself a passive recipient of life, not an active creator of it. You become a beggar waiting for handouts instead of a king building his own empire. This mindset inevitably leads to the most pathetic state a warrior can fall into: victimhood. When comfort is your god, any form of hardship feels like a personal attack. The world becomes a hostile place filled with people and circumstances conspiring against you. Your boss is the problem. The economy is the problem. Your past is the problem. Everyone and everything is to blame, which means you have no power to change anything. You wrap yourself in the warm, comfortable blanket of your own excuses. It feels safe in there, doesn't it? To be the blameless hero of your own tragic story. But it is a lie. That blanket isn't protecting you. It is suffocating you. It is the shroud you are weaving for your own unlived life. So let's make the diagnosis clear. This is not a phase. This is not a personality quirk. You are suffering from a spiritual cancer that is metastasizing through every area of your existence. It is a deep, systemic failure of the will. If you do not cut it out, it will kill everything that is strong and noble within you. It will leave you on your deathbed, a hollowed-out shell of a person, haunted by the ghost of the warrior you could have been. The choice you face is not between comfort and discomfort. It is between a meaningful life forged in fire and a slow, uncomfortable slide into absolute zero. The arena is waiting, the enemy is inside, the war is now. Now you might be thinking this weakness, this slavery to comfort and impulse, is a product of our modern world. You think it's the fault of smartphones, social media, and the 24/7 news cycle. You are wrong. You are not fighting a new war, warrior. You are fighting the oldest war in human history. The enemy you face today is the exact same enemy that a Roman emperor faced on the frozen battlefields of Germania, and the same enemy a crippled Greek slave faced in the halls of power. 2,000 years ago, the Stoics, men like Marcus Aurelius, the most powerful man on earth, and Epictetus, a man who owned nothing, not even his own body, diagnosed your exact sickness. They were the first physicians of the soul, and they wrote the prescription for this disease in iron and blood, not ink and paper. Their diagnosis was brutally simple. The source of all your suffering, all your weakness, all your chaotic reactivity comes from a single fundamental error. You have forgotten what is yours to command. You act as if the world outside your own mind is your responsibility, and you treat your own mind as if it belongs to someone else. A rude comment from a stranger, a dip in the stock market, the traffic on your way to work, these things are not yours. They exist in a realm outside your control, yet you grant them the power to dictate your mood, to steal your peace, to command your actions. You have given the keys to your inner citadel to the enemy. The Stoics called this the ultimate foolishness. To be disturbed by things you cannot control is the definition of insanity. Your only true dominion, the only thing that is 100% yours, is your faculty of choice, your power to judge, to intend, and to act, and you have abandoned it. Let's break down the mechanics of your self-sabotage. An event happens. Your boss sends a critical email. Someone cuts you off in traffic. This event is neutral. It is a raw fact, like a rock falling in the forest. But in the space of a nanosecond, your untrained mind slaps a judgment on it. It screams, "This is an attack. This is disrespectful. This is a disaster." The Stoics called this a first impression, a fantasia. And you, without question, without discipline, immediately agree with this hysterical first impression. You give your assent. The moment you do that, the poison enters your bloodstream. The emotion floods your system. Anger, fear, anxiety. You have just willingly surrendered your power, not to the event itself, but to your own weak, immediate judgment about the event. You are not a victim of circumstance. You are a victim of your own undisciplined mind. This is where your inner tyrant thrives. It is the voice of that first impression. It is the spoiled, screaming child on the throne of your mind that demands every feeling be honored, every impulse be obeyed. The Stoics had a name for the part of you that is supposed to be in charge, the Hegemonikon, your ruling faculty, your inner commander. In a disciplined warrior, the Hegemonikon stands guard at the gates of the mind. When an impression arrives, it is interrogated. Are you a fact, or just my judgment about a fact? Do you concern what is in my control, or what is not? In your mind, that guard is asleep at his post. The gates are wide open. The screaming child is running the entire fortress, ordering your emotions into a frenzy and your actions into chaos. Your life is not a kingdom, it's a riot. Do you understand now, warrior? The Stoics saw this happening in a world lit by torches and powered by muscle. They saw men driven to ruin by their lust for power, their fear of exile, their anger over petty insults. Now put them in your world. A world where a billion-dollar machine in your pocket is specifically engineered to bypass your rational mind and trigger those raw first impressions 1,000 times a day. Every notification is a test. Every headline is a provocation. Every social media feed is an assault on your tranquility. The ancient disease of emotional reactivity has been weaponized and scaled on a global level. You are not just fighting your own internal weakness. You are fighting an external enemy actively trying to exploit it for profit. Your mind is the most valuable real estate in the world, and you are letting them build slums on it. This is why your failure feels so deeply shameful. It's not just about a lack of productivity or a short temper. When you surrender to impulse, you are committing an act of treason against your own nature. The Stoics taught that what separates us from beasts is our capacity for reason. A dog barks when provoked. A lizard flees when frightened. They are slaves to their programming. You were given the divine gift of a pause, a space between stimulus and response where your power lives. Every time you react with blind rage, every time you choose the cheap dopamine of distraction, over the hard path of your purpose, you are choosing to be an animal. That gnawing feeling in your gut, that self-loathing that follows a moment of weakness, is the protest of the higher man trapped within you. It is the warrior in your soul, shaking the bars of the cage your impulses have built. But do not mistake this diagnosis for a death sentence. It is the opposite. It is the map that shows us where the enemy is entrenched. The Stoics were not pessimists. They were the ultimate realists. They laid bare the brutal facts of the human condition so they could forge a brutal and effective set of weapons to master it. The pain you are feeling is not a signal that you are broken. It is a signal that the fight is not over. It is the alarm bell waking you from the comfortable slumber of your own weakness. The ancient physicians have shown us the source of the rot. They have exposed the tyrant on the throne of your mind. Now, we will learn their methods. We will begin the training. We will forge you a new mind, one ruled by a king, not a child. The battle for your inner throne begins now. So, we have made the diagnosis. We have stared into the abyss of your weakness and called the disease by its name. Now, the forge is lit. It is time to hand you the first weapon. This is not a tip. This is not a life hack. This is a law. It is as unbending as gravity and as brutal as the truth. It is the foundation of the entire Stoic arsenal, the bedrock upon which the inner citadel is built. If you fail to master this law, you will fail at everything else. Memorize it. Burn it into the fabric of your soul. The first brutal law of self-control is this: you command your choice and nothing else. Your kingdom is the space between stimulus and response. Everything outside of that space is a foreign land where you have no authority. Let's be clear what this means, warrior. The world is going to happen to you. The economy will crash. People will betray you. Your body will age. The storm will rage. These things are not in your jurisdiction. They are external facts. To waste a single joule of your energy wishing they were different, raging that they are unfair, or fearing what they might do next, is the act of a madman. It is the strategic equivalent of a general trying to command the tides. You have been trying to fight the hurricane. You have been screaming at the avalanche. You have been declaring war on reality itself. And reality is undefeated. Your job is not to control the battlefield. Your job is to control the soldier. And that soldier is your mind, your will, your power to choose your response. That is your only territory. It is small, but it is absolute. Look at the anatomy of your slavery. A notification flashes on your screen. That is an external event. It is not yours. But your choice to immediately reach for the phone, your choice to let your focus shatter, your choice to surrender your purpose for a hit of cheap dopamine, that is 100% yours. Someone insults you. Their words are just vibrations in the air. They are not yours. But your choice to believe their judgment, your choice to ignite with rage, your choice to let their opinion become your reality, that is entirely your creation. You have been living your life as if the external event is the cause of your suffering. That is a lie you tell yourself to remain a victim. The event is just the spark. You are the one who chooses to douse your mind in gasoline and hand it the match. This law is not about passivity. It is the ultimate assertion of power. It is the great sorting mechanism. From this moment forward, every event, every thought, every feeling that enters your awareness must be subjected to a brutal interrogation at the gate of your mind. You will ask it one question: are you within my complete control? If the answer is no, if it's the weather, the stock market, another person's actions, your past mistakes, what someone thinks of you, then you will look at it, nod and say, "You are nothing to me." You will grant it no emotional real estate. You will not fight it. You will not argue with it. You will treat it with the calculated indifference of a king observing the squabbles of peasants in a foreign land. It is not your concern. Your energy is reserved for your kingdom. And what is in your kingdom? Only three things: your judgments, your intentions, your actions. That's it. That is the whole of your empire. While the undisciplined man is a frantic mess trying to manage 1,000 things he cannot influence, the Stoic warrior focuses with ruthless intensity on these three domains. He doesn't hope for a better outcome. He chooses a better judgment. He doesn't wish for an easier path. He forms a stronger intention. He doesn't pray for the world to change. He takes disciplined action. Do you see the shift? It is the difference between being a piece of driftwood tossed on the waves and being the captain of a nuclear submarine, silent and powerful beneath the storm, moving with unstoppable purpose toward its target. The storm doesn't even know you are there. This is the end of all your excuses. You can no longer blame your anger on the person who provoked you. You can only blame your choice to consent to anger. You can no longer blame your procrastination on the difficulty of the task. You can only blame your choice to surrender to discomfort. Your genetics, your upbringing, the injustices of the world. They may have built the arena you fight in, but they do not decide the outcome of the fight. Your power of choice, your prohairesis, is the ultimate trump card. It is the one weapon that no tyrant can take from you, no circumstance can neutralize, and no misfortune can break. Even in chains, a man can choose to be free in his mind. Even on a throne, a man can choose to be a slave to his passions. The location of your body is irrelevant. The state of your will is everything. So, here is your first drill, warrior. For the next 24 hours, you will become the silent observer, the guard at the gate. You will watch your own mind. Every time you feel a surge of negative emotion, anger, anxiety, frustration, you will stop. You will not act. You will not speak. You will step back and you will dissect it. You will ask, what external event triggered this? Is that event in my control? No. What judgment did I attach to that event to create this feeling? Is that judgment in my control? Yes. This is the practice. You are not trying to eliminate the events. You are learning to sever the automatic, undisciplined link between the event and your response. This is the first hammer blow in breaking your chains. The law has been delivered. The training has begun. Your freedom depends on your obedience. The law has been spoken, but a law written in sand is worthless. A sword that has never been tested in the heat of combat is just a piece of metal. You have practiced observing your mind. That was the drill ground. Now, we take this weapon into the chaos of your life, into the real world, where the enemy attacks without warning. This is where the forging truly begins. We will take the most common battlefields, the moments where you consistently surrender, and we will show you how to hold the line, how to apply the law, and how to start winning the war for your own soul. Forget theory. This is the application. This is where the slave begins to break his own chains, one deliberate choice at a time. The fire is at its hottest. Do not flinch. Let's start with the flash fire, anger. An email lands in your inbox. The tone is sharp, critical, unfair. Your boss is questioning your competence. The old you, the slave, feels an immediate surge of heat in the chest. The heart rate spikes. The blood rushes to your face. The inner tyrant screams, "This is an attack! Retaliate! Defend your honor!" Your fingers twitch over the keyboard, ready to fire back a defensive, sarcastic reply. Now stop! The law applies here. The email is an external event. The words on the screen are pixels. They are not in your control. They are nothing to you. The story your mind is telling you, "I'm being disrespected. My career is threatened," is a judgment. And that judgment is yours to command. You pause. You breathe. You look at the screaming tyrant in your mind and you say, "No." You choose to see the email not as an insult, but as simple information. You choose to respond with calm, strategic clarity, not with wounded pride. In that pause, in that choice, you have just disarmed a bomb that would have detonated your entire day. You have tasted real power. Now let's turn to the slow poison, laziness. You know the task you must do, the difficult project, the workout, the call you've been dreading. It sits in front of you like a mountain. And the voice of the inner tyrant, now a soft, seductive whisperer, says, "It's too much. You're tired. You can do it tomorrow. Just 5 more minutes of scrolling." This feeling of resistance, this craving for comfort, feels like an absolute truth. It feels like an order. It is a lie. The feeling is just a sensation, as external as the weather. The difficulty of the task is a fact, as neutral as a stone. They are not in your control. But your choice to move your body, to open the document, to dial the number, that is your kingdom. You will apply the law. You will acknowledge the feeling of resistance with the indifference of a warrior watching a stray dog bark. You will then, deliberately and without emotion, take the first, smallest physical step. You put on your running shoes, you write one sentence, you pick up the phone. You have just declared that your commitment is your commander, not your momentary feelings. You are teaching your body and your mind who is on the throne. What about the inevitable siege of pain? The burn in your muscles during the final set, the sting of rejection after a failed venture, the hollow ache of loss. Your entire life, you have been programmed to flee from pain, to label it as bad, to do anything to numb it or avoid it. This is the programming of a prey animal, not a warrior. The Stoic applies the law with brutal precision. The physical sensation of pain is a raw signal from your nervous system. The emotional ache is a response to an external event. Neither is in your absolute control. They are facts of the arena. What is in your control is your judgment about the pain. You can choose to add a second layer of suffering by wailing, "Why me? I can't stand this." Or you can choose to strip the judgment away. You can see the pain for what it is, a teacher, a signal, a forge. You can choose to meet it with endurance. You can lean into the burn in your muscles and know it is the feeling of strength being born. You can face the ache of loss and choose to meet it with courage, not collapse. The pain is the fire. Your choice is to be consumed by it or to be tempered into steel. Do you see the impattern warrior? Do you feel the ground shifting beneath your feet? In every scenario, the power is not in changing the world, but in mastering your response to it. And this leads us to the most profound reversal, the secret that has been kept from you your entire life. True freedom is not the license to follow every impulse. That is the definition of slavery. A heroin addict is free to follow his impulse. A rage-filled man is free to smash his fist through a wall. A lazy man is free to waste his life on a couch. This is not freedom. It is the absolute bondage of a will that has no master. The ultimate freedom, the freedom of a king, is the power to override your own base programming. It is the ability to feel the surge of anger and choose calm, to feel the pull of distraction and choose focus, to feel the craving for comfort and choose the hard path of discipline. It is the freedom from the tyranny of your own weakest self. This is not a one-time decision. It is the forging of a new character, one hammer blow at a time. Every single time you are faced with a trigger, an insult, a temptation, a moment of friction, and you apply the law, you are casting a vote. You are casting a vote for the warrior over the slave. You are physically carving new pathways in your brain. The old, reactive path of impulse is a deep, muddy trench you've been walking your whole life. The new path of disciplined choice is faint, overgrown, and hard to see at first. Every time you choose it, you clear a little more brush. You deepen the path. The inner tyrant screams because it knows it is losing territory. The inner commander, your Hegemonikon, grows stronger, its voice clearer and more authoritative. You are not just resisting old habits, you are building a new mind. So the battle is not out there in the world. It is in the next 10 seconds. It is in your response to the very next impulse that arises, the urge to check your phone right now, the flicker of irritation at a noise. Outside, the desire to click away from this very message because it is making you uncomfortable. These are not distractions. They are your training ground. They are the weights you must lift to build the muscle of your will. See every moment of friction not as a problem, but as an opportunity to apply the law. This is how you transform philosophy into flesh and blood. This is how you take an ancient code and use it to build an unbreakable mind. Your armor is not given, it is earned. One disciplined choice at a time. The next battle is already here. What will you choose? And so a change begins. It is not loud. There is no applause. It is a quiet, tectonic shift in the foundation of your soul. Remember the person who woke up this morning? The slave jerked awake by anxiety, reaching for the phone like an addict for a needle, his peace already shattered by the day's first headline. That person is dying. In his place, something new is being forged. You feel it now. A stillness, a wait. It is not the fleeting high of motivation. It is the solid, unyielding density of self-command. The world still screams for your attention, but for the first time, you can hear the silence behind the noise. You are no longer a leaf in the wind. You are the mountain. The wind still blows, but it does not move you. Look at your day now. It is no longer a series of frantic reactions. It is a campaign, planned and executed with the precision of a master strategist. The old you saw time as an enemy, a void to be filled with distraction. The new warrior sees time for what it is, the currency of life itself. You no longer find time, you make it. You conquer the dawn while the world sleeps, not because you are forcing yourself, but because the mission is more compelling than the comfort of the bed. The hours once lost to the digital abyss are now invested in deep work, in strengthening your body, in forging your mind. You are building an empire, brick by disciplined brick, while the old you was busy burning down his own village for a moment's warmth. This new strength bleeds into your relationships. Before, you were an emotional landmine. A stray comment could detonate your ego. A minor disagreement could escalate into a war. You demanded respect, but acted without dignity. Now you command it through your calm. You can listen to criticism without crumbling because your self-worth is no longer outsourced to the opinions of others. You can navigate conflict with a steady hand because you are not fighting to be right. You are fighting to find the truth. People feel this shift. They are drawn to your stability. They stop seeing you as a source of chaos and begin to see you as a source of strength. You become the rock they can anchor to in their own storms because you have finally anchored yourself. Your own body, once a monument to your surrender, begins to reflect the change in command. The discipline that governs your mind now governs your plate and your workouts. You stop eating your feelings and start fueling your mission. You stop avoiding the gym's discomfort and start hunting it, knowing that the burn is the feeling of weakness leaving the body. This is not about vanity. It is about integrity. A warrior cannot command his life from a throne of soft flesh and broken habits. Your physical form becomes the outward armor that reflects the iron will within. When you look in the mirror, you no longer see the ghost of your potential. You see the architect of your reality staring back with cold, clear eyes. The inner tyrant, that screaming, spoiled child who once ran your mind, is still there. But its voice is a pathetic whimper now. It still begs for comfort. It still whispers excuses. But you hear it for what it is. The death rattle of your former self. The constant buzzing anxiety that used to be the soundtrack to your life has been replaced by a profound quiet. This is the silence of a well-ordered kingdom. From this quiet comes clarity. You see the world as it is, not as your fears or desires paint it. Decisions that were once agonizing become simple. Your path, once obscured by the fog of emotion, becomes brutally clear. You begin to understand the great lie you were sold about freedom. You thought freedom was the absence of restraint, the ability to act on any impulse. You now know that was the most absolute form of slavery. True freedom, the freedom of a warrior king, is the opposite. It is the power to impose your own chosen restraints on the weakest parts of yourself. It is the freedom from your own anger, the freedom from your own laziness, the freedom from the desperate need for external validation. You stop chasing the fleeting highs the world offers and start cultivating the unshakable peace that comes from within. This is the inevitable result of the forge. This is the new identity you have earned in fire and discipline. The world will continue its assault. The storms will come. People will provoke you. Temptation will call your name, but you are no longer the same soldier who entered this battle. You have built a fortress inside your own mind, and you stand guard at its gates. You are untouchable, not because nothing can hit you, but because nothing external can ever again command you. You have stopped trying to control the world, and in doing so, you have gained control over your own. The war is far from over, but for the first time, you are no longer losing. You are winning. Talk is cheap. Warrior, understanding a law is not the same as embodying it. A map is not the territory. You can study the art of war for 1,000 years, but until you step onto the battlefield, you are not a soldier. You are a scholar. We are not here to build a library in your mind. We are here to build a fortress. And a fortress is built stone by stone, day by day, with sweat and discipline. The time for theory is over. Now we begin the practice. I am giving you your first daily ritual. This is not a suggestion. It is your new standing order. It is the first thing you will do when you rise, before the world has a chance to sink its teeth into you. We call it the Oath of the Prohairesis, the Oath of the power of choice. Here is your mission. Each morning, before you touch your phone, before you let the noise of the world invade your mind, you will sit in silence for 2 minutes. This is your war room. In this silence, you will conduct reconnaissance. You will scan the horizon of the coming day. and you will identify the enemy's most likely points of attack. Be brutally specific. Is there a meeting with a difficult colleague who knows how to provoke you? That is a probable ambush. Do you have a long, tedious task ahead that will tempt you toward the cheap escape of social media? That is a siren's call. Will you be home, alone, in the evening, when the voice of comfort whispers that you deserve junk food and mindless entertainment? That is the enemy's infiltration route. You will name these threats. You will look them in the eye before they have a chance to materialize. Once you have identified the battlefields, you will forge your weapon. You will take a pen and a piece of paper, not a screen, but a physical tool, and you will write your oath. This is a single, clear, declarative sentence for each anticipated battle. This is not a hopeful affirmation. It is a pre-decided command. For the difficult colleague, when I feel the surge of anger from his words, I will pause, breathe, and respond only to the substance of the issue, not the tone. For the lure of distraction, when the urge to open a new tab arises, I will close my eyes for 5 seconds and refocus on the single most important task. For the evening's temptation, when I feel the craving for comfort, I will drink a glass of water and perform 10 push-ups to honor my commitment to a disciplined body. You are giving your future self, the self who will be under fire, his direct orders from a place of calm and reason. Do you understand the strategic genius of this warrior? You are ambushing your own weakness. The inner tyrant thrives on chaos, on the sudden emotional hijack. He wins when you have to make a decision in the heat of the moment, when your blood is hot and your reason is clouded. This ritual bypasses that entire trap. You are making the decision now in the cold, clear light of dawn, when your Hegemonikon, your inner commander, is strongest. You are programming your response in advance. When the trigger inevitably appears later in the day, you don't have to rely on depleted willpower to fight it. You simply execute a preloaded command. You are no longer improvising on the battlefield. You are following a battle plan that you yourself designed. This is not something you will do tomorrow. This is something you will do now. I want you to pause this transmission. Find a piece of paper. Think about the rest of your day. What is the one battle you know is coming? The one moment where your discipline is most likely to break. Identify it. Now write your oath. One sentence, a clear command. Write it down, read it aloud, and place it where you will see it. This is your first concrete act of rebellion against the slave master in your head. This is the first stone you are laying in the foundation of your inner citadel. Do it now. The war does not wait for you to feel ready. This ritual is your new dawn. It is not a one-time act. It is the daily sharpening of your sword. Every morning you will meet the day on your terms. You will anticipate, you will prepare, and you will commit. This 2-minute drill is the most important battle you will fight because it determines the trajectory of all the others. It is the quiet, unseen victory that makes all the loud public victories possible. Forget grand gestures and overnight transformations. Your new life will not be built on an earthquake. It will be built on this, the relentless, daily, disciplined act of taking your oath. This is how you stop being a victim of your day and become its commander. Now get to work. So here you stand, warrior, at the end of this trial. Look back for a moment at the ghost you once were, the puppet jerked by every notification, the slave ruled by every fleeting emotion, the prisoner of your own comfortable cage. That person is dead. You killed him, one disciplined choice at a time. We have armed you with the brutal truth that has governed emperors and slaves alike. You command your choice and nothing else. You have learned to stand guard at the gate of your mind, to interrogate every impression, and to starve the inner tyrant who fed on your chaos. With the Oath of the Prohairesis as your daily rite, you have begun to build a fortress where there was once only rubble. The world did not get quieter. The storms did not cease. The provocations did not stop coming, but you changed. You are no longer the driftwood. You are the lighthouse. You see the insults, the temptations, and the chaos for what they are. Weather patterns in a foreign land you do not rule. They can rage all they want, but they cannot touch the commander inside the citadel. Your peace is no longer a fragile thing dependent on a perfect day. It is a weapon you have forged in the very fires that used to consume you. You have become untouchable, not because the world cannot hit you, but because it can no longer decide what you will do when you are hit. But do not mistake this moment of clarity for the end of the war. This is the beginning of your reign. Discipline is not a destination, it is a daily practice. The forge is never cold. The enemy within is not vanquished. It is caged. It will test the bars every single day, whispering the old seductive lies of comfort and ease. Your freedom is maintained by the same means it was won, through relentless, conscious, deliberate choice. Every dawn presents a new battlefield. Every impulse is a new test of your command. To be a Stoic warrior is to choose, again and again, to be the master of your own soul. Forget every excuse you have ever made. Burn every victim story you have ever told yourself. There is only one law that governs your life now, one decree that cuts through all the noise. Engrave it on the inside of your skull. Let it be the last thing you hear at night and the first thing you declare at dawn. This is your final order and your ultimate truth. The event is not the master. The feeling is not the master. I am. If this battle has ignited the fire of the warrior within you, then prove your commitment now. Go to the comments and write the one sentence that will guide your command for the next 7 days. Make it your oath. Share this transmission with another warrior who is lost in the fog of their own weakness and needs this call to arms. Subscribe to this channel to continue forging your mind into an unbreakable weapon. The discipline is daily. We will see you in the arena.